Below is a full 3,000-word episode-style story based on your plot. Poor girl shelters a starving, frozen boy. The next day, a CEO claims her as his daughter. If you want prompt, title, description, hashtags, keywords afterwards, just tell me, I will make them for you. Episode story 3,000 words. The girl WHO lit the ice. Episode length, approximately 3,000 words. 1. The snow night. The wind howled like a wounded beast, tearing through the narrow alleys of Old District. Winter had arrived early this year, cruel, sharp, and merciless. Most people had taken shelter indoors by sundown, but one girl still moved along the sidewalk, clutching a bag of discounted bread to her chest. Lena, 16, small and thin, walked with quick steps. Snowflakes settled in her dark hair as she tucked her chin into her scarf. She had finished cleaning the bakery late again, earning a few extra coins the owner insisted she take. Your father can't work, you're the only one who can keep the stove warm, the baker had said. Lena nodded, grateful. Their small apartment was only 2 rooms, one for her sick father, and a tiny one she used as a kitchen, bedroom, and life. She had almost reached their street when she stopped. Someone, was lying in the snow. A lump, a shape, a faint movement, a child. Lena's heart jumped in her chest. It wasn't unusual to see drunk men lying outside the taverns nearby, but this was different. The body was small, fragile, barely covered with a thin hoodie, arms wrapped around himself. She rushed forward. It was a boy, maybe 10 or 11. His lips were blue, his fingers frozen stiff. He was shivering violently, or maybe not shivering at all, which was worse. His eyes fluttered open for a second. Please, see cold, hungry. Lena didn't hesitate. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. Never pass a suffering person without trying to help. God watches kindness more than anything. She slipped her arms beneath the boy and tried to lift him. He was lighter than the bag of flour she carried at the bakery. Too light. I've got you, she whispered, though her voice trembled. You'll be warm soon, I promise. She dragged him, half carrying, half pulling, into her building, up the stairs, and into her tiny room. Warm air hit them at once. A small heater buzzed beside her father's bed. The old man looked up, startled. Lena, who? A boy, she panted. He was freezing outside. Her father, despite his weakness, struggled to sit straighter. Quickly, blankets. Lena laid the boy down near the heater, removed his wet shoes, and wrapped him in every blanket she owned. She rubbed his hands, trying to wake warmth in them. The boy didn't speak again, just curled like a frightened animal. She warmed milk in a pot, added crumbs of stale bread, and slowly fed him with a spoon until he fell asleep. What happened to him? Her father whispered. I don't know, but he would have died outside. Her father touched her hair lovingly. You did right. She stayed awake all night beside the boy, listening to wheels of snow grinding against the windows. She whispered softly, even though he was asleep, to remind him he was safe. She didn't know yet that her kindness tonight would change her life forever. 2. Morning brings names. Sunlight forced its way through thin curtains the next morning. Lena opened her eyes, exhausted, and stretched her stiff neck. The boy was awake. He was sitting on the floor, staring at her with wide, golden brown eyes. You're warm now, she said gently. Are you hungry? He nodded slowly. She made porridge, thin, barely sweet, but warm, and gave him a bowl. He devoured it like he hadn't eaten in days. Maybe weeks. What's your name? She asked. He hesitated, spoon halfway to his mouth. Evan. Where are your parents? No answer. Evan kept eating. Her father asked softly, do you have a home, son? Evan's spoon clattered against the bowl. Tears gathered in his lashes. No. Lena's heart squeezed painfully. She understood hunger. She understood cold. She understood having no one. You can rest here until you're stronger, she said. The boy looked at her like she had said something impossible. Why? He whispered. Because you needed help, she replied simply. His lower lip trembled, and he hurriedly looked away. 3. The city wakes up. By noon, the entire city buzzed with unusual noise, helicopters, police sirens, frantic shouts. People gathered at street corners, talking rapidly. Have you heard? A child kidnapped. No. Lost. Son of Alexander Hale, the CEO of Hale Industries. Yes. The billionaire. Lena paused in the middle of sweeping the bakery's floor. The baker's wife leaned out the door. Poor boy vanished yesterday. They say he ran away from his security team. Lena's broom froze midair. A boy ran away yesterday in the snow. Her heart skipped. Could it be? No, impossible. But when she returned home, she found Evan clutching her warm blanket, staring at the news coming from their neighbor's loud TV through the thin wall. A reporter's voice echoed. Alexander Hale is offering a massive reward for any information about the disappearance of his only son. The screen showed a photo. Evan, but cleaner, smiling, wearing expensive clothes. Her father whispered, Lena, it's him. Evan's face crumpled. I don't want to go back, he sobbed suddenly. I don't want him. Her father exchanged a confused glance with Lena. Why, child, he's your father. He doesn't care about me. Evan cried. I'm just another trophy for him. Always gone, always busy. He never listens. He never looks at me unless it's for a picture. Lena knelt beside him. Evan, she whispered, everyone in the world is searching for you. They're scared. He shook his head violently. No, he just wants to keep his reputation. Lena didn't argue. She placed a hand on his shoulder. You're safe here, she said softly. No one will force you to do anything. He clung to her like she was the only solid thing in the world. And maybe she was. 4. The knock. Evening fell again, and with it, the knock. Loud, demanding, echoing through the hallway. Lena froze. Her father leaned back in fear. She opened the door a crack. A group of security men in black coats stood outside. Behind them, tall, gray-eyed, and furious, stood a man she recognized from every billboard in the city. Alexander Hale, CEO, billionaire, father of the missing boy. His eyes swept the room. Where is my son? He demanded. Lena stepped back, heart pounding. Evan was standing behind her, clutching her shirt. Hale saw him, and his expression shattered. Evan. But Evan shrank behind Lena instead of running to him. The billionaire flinched, as if stabbed. Son, come here, Hale said more softly. You're safe now. Evan shook his head. I don't want to. Lena swallowed hard. She stepped in front of the boy. Sir, he's still weak. Please, speak gently. Hale blinked, as if no one had ever spoken to him that way before. He straightened. Thank you, for finding him. I didn't find him, Lena said quietly. He collapsed near my building. I just gave him warmth. Hale stared at her, really stared. At her thin clothes, her small room, her sick father in the corner, the empty pan on the stove. His jaw tightened. You saved my child's life, he said. It was nothing, Lena whispered. It was everything. Hale stepped inside the room slowly. Evan, he said, kneeling, an action that shocked his own guards. Look at me. Evan peeked out from behind Lena. I'm sorry, Hale whispered, voice cracking. I didn't know you were this unhappy. I didn't know you felt alone. You never looked, Evan said quietly. Hale bowed his head. You're right, I failed you. Silence swelled. Evan stepped forward hesitantly. Hale opened his arms, and the boy finally, slowly, walked into them. The billionaire held him like he was the most fragile, priceless thing ever created. Tears ran down his face. Lena looked away, giving them privacy. 5. A question that changed everything. After a long moment, Hale stood and approached Lena. What is your name? He asked softly. Lena, my son says you stayed awake all night taking care of him. She shrugged. Anyone would have. No, he said firmly. Not anyone. His gaze drifted to her father, thin, pale, coughing. Medical care, he asked. Lena shook her head. We can't afford it. Hale exhaled sharply. Pack your things, he said suddenly. Lena froze. What? Why? You and your father are coming with me. To my home. She stared in confusion. We can't accept money, sir. We didn't help for that. This is not charity, Hale said. This is gratitude. Her father tried to sit up. Sir, we cannot. You can, Hale said. And you will, because your kindness kept my son alive. Before Lena could protest, Evan grabbed her hand. Please come, he whispered. I don't want to lose you. Her heart trembled. Her father watched her, his eyes softening. Maybe, he said, this is our chance. Lena slowly nodded. All right, she whispered. We'll come. 6. A mansion of light. The Hale mansion looked like something from a fairy tale. Tall marble pillars, walls of glass, gardens that shimmered with lights even at night. Lena felt small, out of place, like the wind from her old neighborhood might blow dust onto these perfect floors. But Evan held her hand tightly, like she belonged. Hale guided them through the entrance hall. This is your home now. No, Lena whispered. Just a temporary stay until father recovers. Hale stopped walking. His eyes softened. You don't understand, he said gently. I don't mean you'll live here temporarily. Lena blinked. What do you mean? Hale inhaled deeply, like someone preparing to say something enormous. Lena, your kindness, your strength, your heart, they saved my child. But more than that, he paused. They reminded me of someone. Who? She whispered. My wife, he said quietly. Evan's mother. She was like you, brave, compassionate, ready to help anyone. Lena's throat tightened. Hale continued softly. She always wanted a daughter. Lena stepped back, confused. Sir, my investigators looked into you on the way here, Hale said. Not to invade your privacy, but to understand who saved my son. She stiffened. And I found something, he murmured. She swallowed nervously. What? Hale knelt slightly so he could meet her eyes. Lena, your mother, her name was Sophia Hart. Lena froze. The world spun. Yes, she whispered. How do you know? Hale's eyes filled with something she didn't understand. Sophia Hart, he said slowly, was my first love. Lena's lips parted. He continued, voice trembling. We were young, foolish. Her family moved away suddenly. I searched for her for years. I didn't know she had a child. Lena's heart pounded so loudly she could hear it echo. Are you saying? Hale exhaled shakily. Lena, I believe you are my daughter. Her father, her adoptive father, leaned against the wall, tears in his eyes. I raised her as my own after Sophia died. I didn't know how to contact you. And when your company became so big, I thought you would reject her. Hale shook his head. Reject her. She is the greatest blessing I've ever found. Lena felt like the ground disappeared beneath her feet. Evan whispered, voice cracking with hope, you're my sister. Lena covered her mouth, trembling. She looked at her adoptive father. He nodded gently. You deserve love, my child, a future. Then she looked at Hale, at the man who had suddenly become far more than a CEO. A father, her father, and for the first time, the truth felt real. Yes, she whispered, I'm your daughter. Hale pulled her into his arms as Evan hugged them both. For the first time since her mother's death, Lena felt something she never thought she'd feel again. A family. 7. A new dawn. Days turned into weeks. Doctors treated her father, who slowly regained strength, with the best care. Evan stopped having nightmares. Hale spent every morning at the breakfast table with them, sometimes awkward, sometimes gentle, but always trying. Lena learned to smile without hiding her teeth. She learned warmth, safety, and belonging. One evening, standing in the garden, Hale approached her. You changed our lives, he said softly. You changed mine, she replied. He placed a hand on her shoulder. You will never be cold or alone again, he promised. Not while I breathe. Lena looked at the shining windows of the mansion, her home, and at the family who had found her not by blood, but by the warmth of her heart. She whispered to the snowflakes, "Thank you for bringing Evan to me." Because that night, the girl who saved a frozen boy had lit a fire that melted everyone's hearts. And in return, she discovered she was never meant to be a poor girl.